No Fred Van Vliet, no OG Anunoby. Might as well throw Delano Banton in there. The Toronto Raptors got a phenomenal win on the road tonight against the future NBA Finals winner, Philadelphia 76ers. So welcome back to the channel, man. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Post Raptors content pretty much every day along with NBA content. Let's try and get over 100 likes for today's video. Toronto now one game behind the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, shout out, give respect to Cleveland. They're chugging their way through the Eastern Conference right now. Both Toronto, both Cleveland, every team in the Eastern Conference, the final 12-ish games, depending on your team remaining, I think Toronto's got 11 left, they're all against critical opponents. Now, thankfully for Toronto, they step up when it matters, and I think they have like 10 of their, maybe it's like 9 of their final 11 games are at home. They have a bunch of games remaining at home, but tonight you literally play Philadelphia, and the Toronto Raptors scored 12 points in the third quarter. They literally held Philadelphia to 14 in the fourth quarter. This was not a pretty win by Toronto by any means, but man, you take down Joel Embiid, shout out Precious Achiuwa and Siakam. We'll talk about them in just a minute here. You shut down James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. This is as good of a win as you can possibly get, and what sucks really is Toronto. This should be their, 7th straight victory if they didn't lose to... Oh man, the Lakers. The Lakers are so annoying because they'll just play up to their competition randomly, just out of thin air. And it was also at home. And Russell Westbrook made the luckiest shot I've ever seen in my entire life. But tonight, dude, I know Siakam had a phenomenal game. Once again, no Freddie, still no OG, which really sucks. Hopefully he's back within the next 3 games. No Freddie tonight, no Banton, no Malachi Flynn. This is a crazy game. You saw Armani Brooks get 14 minutes. Shout out Armani, my Rockets legend. But Ken Burch even looked fine tonight, although he didn't do anything too crazy offensively. I'm giving game ball to Precious, man. I'm definitely with his defense, with his offense tonight, specifically on the offensive end. He finished with 21 points and 9 rebounds, 9 of 15 from the field. And as always, got to mention the best part about Precious Achiuwa tonight, 2 of 4 from downtown. 3-point shot, dude. Once again, Memphis, there was nothing there. Last year with the Miami Heat, there was nothing there as far as the 3-ball goes. So the fact Precious Achiuwa just comes to Toronto, and the best part is, comes into the summer league shooting threes, comes into the preseason shooting threes, comes into the regular season shooting threes. But the best part about Precious Achiuwa from downtown is he's gotten better all season. If Toronto right now can win on an 8-man rotation without 2 critical borderline all-star, Freddie all-star, 2 starters, I really hope... What sucks is I love Cleveland, but if you let Toronto get the 6th seed, especially if you let them play the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round, they're winning it. I'm sticking with my prediction from the beginning of the season. Toronto, no matter what seed they finish with, I have them going to the second round. Come on, dude. Shout out Pascal Siakam. This guy is playing better than he was when in his All-Star, All-NBA second-team season. He's literally playing better. Tonight, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Keep in mind, he's playing Joel Embiid. He's playing Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers, who after their first win, you have all these random-ass NBA fans saying they're winning the finals. First thing I did, if you're a Sixers fan, I got a bad comment coming. First game when Philadelphia won, I made a video saying, I think it's literally titled, LOL, the Philadelphia 76ers are not winning the finals, because they're not winning the finals. Scotty Barnes, unfortunately, didn't have his stuff on offense, shooting 6 of 21, which is hilarious. But since they won, you can laugh it off. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. Scotty Barnes, defensively, stud. I guess maybe stud's going a little far, letting emotions get the best, but he's really good on defense. Gary Trent Jr. just ice cold tonight. Like I said, this was not really a pretty win whatsoever. Shout out to literally specifically Precious Achiuwa and Pascal Siakam, not only for their defensive efforts, but showing up offensively, because Toronto really needed it. Gary Trent Jr. finishes with 9 points. Still made an impact defensively, which is what you want to see, but 2 of 13 from the field, 0 of 4 from downtown wasn't his night. Like I said, Ken Burch looked improved. But offensively, I mean, with Khem Birch, you shouldn't really expect much. A nice little part of tonight was Chris Boucher. Although he didn't really shoot efficiently, he stepped up on defense when it mattered. All three Raptor bench players finished with a positive plus-minus. So Chris Boucher tonight, 12 points, 14 rebounds, only 4 of 12 from the field, but finished with a plus 16, which was a team high. So, I mean, an 8-man rotation it was almost essentially like a 7-man rotation. If you really want to count Khem Birch, we'll give him a 7-man rotation because Armani only played 14 minutes. But, I mean, Khem only played 22. Like, Thaddeus Young was fine, doing a little bit of everything, especially on the defensive end. But offensively, I mean, especially at this age, I'm not really expecting Thaddeus to blow up the stat sheet. But he definitely made an impact defensively. Also made a huge impact just kind of maneuvering the offense. 3 assists, which is nice for Thaddeus, and then 7 rebounds. He was pulling in the board. So whenever you're playing Philly, I mean, they're huge. They're going to try to get to the free throw line. But what really stood out to me tonight was Toronto's defense, which is why you can never count them out of any basketball game or any season at this point because, yeah, while they might be the 7th seed, I mean, look at Minnesota on the Western Conference. Like, they've won 9 of their last 10. Their one loss was to the Orlando Magic, and they really shouldn't have even lost that game. So it's like both conferences right now, the 7 seeds, those are 2 teams I really don't want to play. I mean, Toronto literally defensively tonight was great. Maybe not in the first quarter, definitely not in the first quarter, but in the fourth quarter, I mean, literally holding Philadelphia with Joel Embiid and James Harden, you could argue that that's one of the most, I mean, that's a top 3 lethal duo in the entire NBA. They held them to 14 points, making them look silly out there. It's like you threw a random kid on 2K and put it on Hall of Fame difficulty, and you're like, figure it out. That's what it looked. That's what Philadelphia in the fourth quarter offensively was like. And so, I mean, Toronto, you're a game behind Cleveland. You're gonna play Cleveland extremely soon. Toronto's got a big game against the Chicago Bulls. My Chicago Bulls live here in Chicago, which thankfully Patrick Williams, he will be back. He will be back for that game. But like, you get Freddie back, and then hopefully you get OG back relatively soon. That's a huge piece to their future success or for their playoff success. I mean, this guy's a stud. He's averaging 17.5 on the season, and he's under the age of 25. So OG's been out for, like, it feels like an eternity at this point. But the Toronto Raptors, they've willed their way. They've found their way. So you got to give love. You got to give respect to them. Once again, you definitely don't want to play the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs. If I was an Eastern Conference, like as a Chicago Bulls fan, the last team I want to play right now is Toronto. I also don't really want to play Cleveland. I don't really want to play Boston. I don't want to really play too many teams in the East, but I think that's a Bulls thing. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button as always, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.